welcome. You're watching Head to Head. I'm Antonina Antosha with UATV. Now, Ukraine observes the growth of transport connectivity in aviation comparing to last year, which makes the issue of energy consumption even more burning. So, how do we make transport more environmentally friendly in Ukraine? To talk more about this, we welcome in our studio today Oleksandra Gumeniuk. She's a director of European-Ukrainian Energy Agency. Hello, and thank you for coming.
Hello, Antonina. Thank you for inviting.
So on January 24th, the first ever conference on energy efficiency as a method of decarbonizing Ukraine's aviation infrastructure has been held in Kiev. And one of the major topics, one of the major issues discussed during this conference was how to make our aviation more energy efficient. So did all the members of the conference manage to come up with some kind of a prominent solution to the problem?
Thank you so much for this question. I think it is a highly important question now for Ukraine as well. Let me maybe shortly introduce myself and what we are doing about our organization. My name is Oleksandra Gumeniuk. I'm director of European-Ukrainian Energy Agency. Mainly you see and you hear in the name of the organization mainly energy, and a lot of people are asking why are you going to collaborate with transport sector, and mainly it is because of energy efficiency as the way of decarbonizing in transport sector as well. That is why, together with the State Aviation Administration of Ukraine, since June of 2018, so it's about half of the year, we were discussing the topic of energy efficiency as the way of decarbonizing of transport infrastructure of Ukraine. Exactly, in aviation, and since that time we decided to arrange this first conference on energy efficiency in aviation infrastructure, and it was, I have to say, really successful because many participants of aviation infrastructure of Ukraine took part, top managers of airports of Ukraine, airlines also participated. Of course, I'm very much thankful that State Aviation Administration, they made a huge work on arranging this conference and on promoting this conference, and I very much happy that they were initiators really of this topic, and I see how enthusiastic they are, and when the state governmental organization as State Aviation Administration, the head of this administration, Mr. Oleksandr Belchuk, he is inspired of this topic, and he is very much interested in decarbonizing of aviation infrastructure of Ukraine. So it is a huge synergy of collaboration of European-Ukrainian Energy and State Aviation Administration.
Still, how is it possible to decarbonize the aviation infrastructure of Ukraine? I mean, you cannot just like this change the planes, right? Or change the fuel. How do you do it?
Actually, many people were asking this question in Facebook, in LinkedIn, in
on social media.
In social media, yeah, okay, sorry. In social media, and by personal emails, by telephone calls while we were preparing this conference. And I have to say that after I'm not the specialist in aviation, but I'm know a little bit, maybe a little more than a little bit in energy efficiency and the energy sector of Ukraine. And I have to say that according to the researchers of Ukrainian research organizations, international organizations, governmental organizations, it was concluded that 40% of energy consumption of Ukraine is in buildings. So, but at the moment in Ukraine, unfortunately, we have about half of resource of energy generating is coal, fossil fuels, and this is the major resource of generating CO2. That is why we thought that it is a fantastic synergy together with Aviation Administration to start energy efficiency in actually in buildings, of airports and aviation infrastructure. I'm very much thankful to Mr. Bilchuk, who made a fantastic presentation during the conference, where he actually emphasized and mentioned that aviation administration can influence to minimize the CO2 emissions for 10%. In 3 levels. First level is direct emissions, like self-owned power plants which generate power. Second level is not direct emissions but consumption of electricity and heat. And third level, it is also not, it is direct not control, but influence to emissions of transport, like when the plane is parking and while his motor is working during his on the parking, and etc. But from our side, as European-Ukrainian Energy Agency, we do not have influence on aircraft, on planes. We can start from what we understand, what we can do, what huge work was already done from 2014 and even earlier in energy efficiency in building sector. And yeah, so we start from energy efficiency of buildings. And also, I think it will be not surprised, but a lot of airports already thinking include renewable energy to their airports infrastructure.
Clearly, by including renewable energy sources into supplying energy to airports throughout the country is going to, first of all, help Ukrainian economy and help the administration of the airline companies and the administrations of those airports. How is it going to benefit the passengers?
Well, of course, you know that the cost of our tickets to airplane, it depends on a lot of parts which are included on the cost, and one of them is the line of energy consumption and covering these costs. That is why every time when plane comes to the airport, provides him an invoice for okay, just to be short, energy consumption as a huge part of costs of airport, when it will be reduced, then passengers will feel it on their tickets.
So basically, once the aviation sector of Ukraine is decarbonated, airline tickets are going to be cheaper.
That's what we expect. Of course, it will be not right to do tomorrow.
Of course.
As today we implemented energy efficient measures, and tomorrow tickets will be cheaper. Unfortunately, no. But after some period, yes.
Is there any European country that is already experienced in fulfilling this very formula that you've been discussing during the conference, that we can take experience from?
Yes, absolutely. There is an international aviation organization which is called ICAO, and it is not just the will of us, of our organization, of aviation administration. It is actually the requirement of this international organization, ICAO, to reduce CO2 emissions. And we chose energy efficiency and renewables as the way, one of the ways to decarbonize this aviation infrastructure. I have to say that at the moment, all countries, not only in Europe, but also in the world, they are on the way of modernizing their airport and aviation infrastructure. It means that at the moment, yes, there are fantastic examples when airports, for example, in the Munich airport, as I know, there are not 2, even 3 types of renewables implemented on it: biogas, solar, and I don't know which exactly, but something else. And depending on the time of the day, they switch something, then switch on
to a more effective
different
one.
Yes, it is to cooling, to heating. It depends on the season time. It depends on the passenger fulfilling the airport. So it is fantastic when technologies are so close to each person, and even me as a passenger, or you as a passenger, you don't care what's going on there, but innovations are working, and airports become more energy sustainable, and this is our safety. This is actually safety for Ukraine, as well as the biggest step for energy efficiency and energy sustainability.
Thank you so much for coming and explaining the whole situation to us.
Thank you.
That was Oleksandra Gumeniuk. She's a director of European-Ukrainian Energy Agency. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for more with UATV.